Guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to go through premium and discount zones. Okay, so obviously for me, a very primitive area from which I rely on my own trading. So I'm just going to go over it for you guys, and hopefully you can go away, practice this method and see how it works for you. So obviously, just a general rule of thumb, as with any sort of you know in brackets strategy, nothing's 100%. All right, this is just a useful way for you guys to pinpoint your supply and demand zones a little bit more and fine tune them. So what we're going to do is just do a little tutorial about what I'm going to be showing you guys here today. So first thing you want to do is come over to obviously the sidebar menu, go three, you want the third drop down menu down, and you want to go to GAN box. Okay, so the GAN box, when you pull it out, will look like this. Very simple tool, and this method is very simple. So, and basically what we're going to be looking at is obviously discount. I just realized I say obviously a lot. So discount, and we'll just clone that. Discount and premium. So what you've got here is premium supply and discount demand, okay? And this middle line in here separates the two barriers, okay? So ideally, what you want to be looking for in a downtrend is you'll be drawing this GAN box from your last available high to your last available low, and then you want to see a retracement into this premium zone, okay? So from where this line is, anything on the line or above is classed as premium, and it's a likelihood that price is going to sell off from a point within this zone. And then obviously on the flip side of that, when it comes to discount demand, you want to see a nice uptrend, and then you would mark out your last available low to your last printed high. You want to see a retracement into this middle line or below into your discount demand, because it's likely price will buy what am I on about? Price will likely shoot off to the upside from any point in this discounted area. Okay, so that's the general rule of thumb for this method. So we're just going to have a look at some of today's price action, nice and fresh, and then see which ones got respected, which ones didn't. So we're going to start off with GU here, and as you can see, I was looking at this area today. However, we are just in the supply area right now, and you can see we're having a little bit of resistance to that area. But however, if we look at, we're just going to take this whole leg. All right, so we're just going to draw our GAN boxes from highs to low and see which ones got respected. So high to low, high to low. Well, actually, we'll do this one, high to low. Obviously, it's up to you how you want to do this, and obviously we've done that one already. It's up to you how you want to do this. For me personally, I would probably do it like this, but I'm just showing you this way for educational purposes. So, for example, if we've got all of this price action here, I'd probably look, obviously, what I'm talking about is something like this. So, obviously, for me, I wouldn't be looking at this anyway because it hasn't broken structure to the downside. There's no valid reason for me to want to be looking for sells at this current point in time. But obviously, just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you how I would draw a GAN box. So this is a nice little leg here, which nothing's been mitigated in this area. So I would get my GAN box, and so I'll draw it from the last printed high to the last printed low. Obviously, I haven't started from here because this zone has been mitigated. It's no longer of interest to me, okay? So once you have drawn your GAN box, again, you want to look for your middle line and above, because we are looking for premium supply, okay? So anywhere in this area here is considered a premium area, and it's a very high value area to look for potential sells. So we can see that we've got a nice little wick just on the middle line there. So we draw that up, and then we have obviously a nice little wick at the top. We'll just conclude the whole thing here. So we've got two areas we can look for shorts into the lows. So let's see if we get a nice respect. So we've got a beautiful mitigation there. And if we have a look on the lower time frames, could we have got an entry? Sorry, I've got the sniffles today, guys. Right, so we've got multiple liquidity sweeps. Did we take out that low? Yes, we did. However, for me personally, this is how I would have done it. So I would have missed an entry here. So break a structure, break a structure, and then, you know, we've got a final. What am I talking about? Break a structure, liquidity sweep. Sorry guys, it's getting late. My head is clearly not screwed on. Right, there we go, liquidity sweep there as well. Okay, so we've got our liquidity sweep multiple times. I'm pretty happy that that has happened. So what I'll be looking for in here at this point, I'll just replay this so it's easier. So at this point, what I'd be looking for, if I was doing this live, I'd be looking for the cause of this whole leg. So obviously that point is here. So I'd be looking for this zone to fail because it is the last available strong level of demand, okay? So I'll be looking for that to fail before I then start to look for an entry. So we'll just play that until that did fail. So no failure yet, no failure yet, and then there's our failure. So for me, if I'm looking at this live, I would be liking this zone up here, like that. That would be the entry point. Now in terms of position size, I would put my position there and just cover the high with the stop loss. And then, you know, just target the low of the actual GAN box. So it gives you a nice target as well. A nice target area. If you're sort of confused on what to target sometimes, just target the bottom of the GAN. That's it. You don't need any more than that. And as we've seen, I did miss an entry. But it went straight to TP, which is fantastic. How close were we? So yeah, quite close. But if I'm being 100% honest, that is how I would have done it. I'm not going to put my entry lower just to get some clout. But that is how I would have done it. And obviously you can see it's nearly pinpoint. You know, it's a very small gap. Fantastic. I'll be happy with that because I got the direction right. So let's try it on another pair. So we'll just turn that back. So obviously I just want to point out as well, because we've drawn this up. So we've got this unmitigated zone here. It doesn't mean it can't be mitigated at a further date. So it helps you with your direction as well. So for example, if this zone here were to fail, this zone is mitigated, this zone hasn't. So it's likely if this fails, we could see a rise up into that zone. And then you could look for buys into there to then eventually sell it off and take all of this buy side liquidity. So just, you know, doing this method just helps you with your direction as well. It helps you target areas, it helps you, you know, have a nice pinpoint for your actual live trades and where you want to target. As I said, if you're not sure, if I was to get in a trade here, I would just target the bottom of the GAN or any sort of demand in here. So what I'm talking about is, say we entered aggressively on here, which I very rarely do. So I've got one of three options. I can enter at the bottom, or I can enter and take profit at this demand here. So there's two things I could do there. You know, if you wanted to go the extra mile, you could target the bottom and take partials at this area, go break even when it breaks this low. Yeah, so obviously trade management is very important as well. But that is sort of how I would play that move right there in front of you. So let's move on to another pair. What we got? So we've got GBP JPY here. Now, GBP JPY is a pair that likes to muck around a lot, but it does have its moves and it does have its good days. So we'll just go on a daily here. So you can see here I've drawn out this zone. I've again used the same method with the GAN box. So we've taken out this substructure low here, and we've taken out this substructure low here. And if we go on to the weekly, so we are actually bullish. So this is quite a risky move, but that is why we have a confirmation. What's the monthly saying? So monthly is it's still retracing this leg here. So we could see a move up into this area maybe, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, same method, guys. I've drawn out the last available high to the last available low. That's the sort of distance from my GAN box. And then all you do is look for supply within the premium. And you can see that's the supply I've eyed up here. If this fails, then I could maybe look for one up here, maybe look to buy into that zone if we do get a failure of this area. So obviously we're still waiting on that one. This is the daily chart, so that could maybe take, you know, a couple of days to fulfill. If we just go on to the hourly here, so if we just scroll back to about 8 o'clock this morning, it wasn't 8 o'clock, it was about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock this morning. So what we got, just move around. So we got a confirmed high after this move up. Obviously, I did take into account that we are actually bullish. And also we are heading into this supply. So I had good bias to look for buys. I wasn't really I wasn't caring too much about this high not being taken out, because obviously I've got the backing of the higher time frames. I've got my direction. So all I need to do is just look for a valid entry method, okay? So we broke the structure here of this sort of substructure, and again, just done the same method. So the last printed low to the last printed high, and then looked for a valid demand within the discount area. And you can see this is the one I marked out. On this occasion, we just shot straight up and didn't mitigate anything, which is absolutely fine. But what we can do from here is just adapt to price. But what we've got now is a confirmed break of this major structure to the left. So if we go to the 4 hour now, we might be actually get a cleaner sort of look at this. So there we go. So we've got a nice 4 hour clean break of structure. So what we do is just do the same thing again. Haven't got a confirmed high just yet because price is still venturing into that area. But let's say that is the confirmed high. What we've got is a nice demand here and a nice demand at the bottom here. You know, we could just consider that wick. So I want to consider this area as well because that's where momentum kicked in. So we've got quite a big zone at the bottom there that we could look at. But that's how I would play that if that is a confirmed high. But well, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to be. But yeah, very simple, very easy. And if we just have a look at the sort of recent price, we've got one here. Got a nice new confirmed high. Took out this previous high here. Oops. Draw your GAN box from the last low to high. Obviously, again, I wouldn't be doing it like this. I would be doing it like this. Like that. Yeah. And as you can see on this point, we've got a nice little mitigation in there before moving higher. I wouldn't have got in on that personally. I'd maybe look at it, but it's very risky because it's not on the EQ of the GAN. But yeah, so let's move on to another pair. So we've got GA at the moment. So on the daily, again, same thing. Break a structure. Drew up my GAN box, high to low, and then just looking at supply areas within the premium area. So far we're in a supply area, but looking like we're going to fail it, maybe come into this one. But again, that gives us directional bias. If this fails, we can look to buy into this one to sell off into the low of the GAN. We'll see what happens. Euro USD, so this has been happening for a couple of days now, but we do have 3 zones here. Now, I've done this one a little differently because this was the last break of structure, so I went from that low to the high. But if you look on the overall perspective of Euro USD, if we just go on the daily, so I basically just outlined if this fails, then I'd look at these 2 demand zones here. This wasn't drawn with a GAN box, but these are the 2 valid demands just below this level that we could look to sell into if this fails. But we'll see in the coming days whether this does fail or not. Euro pound, so have we done Euro pound? Don't think so. But again, same method. Break a structure, GAN box, low to high. Look for any discounted demand. And you can see we've reacted quite nicely to this one so far. We'll see how that does actually turn out in the end. So yeah, we can see we're still in this zone, probably looking to take out liquidity at the moment, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Euro Aussie. Now this is the one that I woke up today and thought this is going to be a good day if this mitigates one of these two, because this is like prime price action. This is what you want. So again, breaker structure, nice uptrend. Look for anything in the discount. You can see we've got this nice demand sitting on the EQ, and we've got this demand sort of in the extreme area of the discounted area. So fantastic if that does develop in the week. We'll see. But that's it from me, guys. I hope this helped. Go away and practice. Share your analysis with me. If you've got any questions, let me know. I've been more than happy to help you out. Until then, have a fantastic trading week, guys. Take it easy.